Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Challengers League Summer Promotion. Game number 1 between Winthrop and Blue Otter now completed. And Blue Otter, they just took him to town, beat down.
They sure did. I think Blue Otter, again, just kind of repeating history a little bit so far with how that first qualifier went. I think it was a really good game coming out from them the first time as well. I mean, props to Lawrence. He had a good matchup in top lane. He used it really well to get a good advantage. And I mean, I got to give Music a shout out too. I think the way he played a lot of those team fights was really good. He knew his job. He understood the assignment. It was Mobility doesn't get to play League of Legends today. And he did it.
Yeah, and I also do feel like Winthrop kind of gave themselves a hard time with the draft they went for. We were talking about it during the break, but I felt like either the Azir or the Sejuani had to go. You were more towards the Sejuani being a different pick. But basically, just something to give it damage to start the reset speed.
Yeah, and every time I see Viego, Ari, Jinx, I always think about time to kill, and it turns out Winthrop's was pretty high, which doesn't work out pretty well. If you can't get that first kill in decent conditions without losing all your health or trading negatively, you can't make it happen.
Good performance for the newcomer of the split as well. Sammy can definitely look good, even with Music taking some of the deepest flanks that we've ever seen. Sometimes he was too late, where Lawrence and Samikin just basically cleaned up the whole fight before he was able to actually have an impact there. But hey, you know, it is what it is. Coming into this next game, Beat, what are your expectations? What do you want to see different for these squads?
Well, one thing that won't be different is that we're not changing sides. Winthrop have chosen red side, so nothing is going to change in that regard. And of course,
team colors, you know?
Yeah. And also, the fact is, we're playing Fearless, guys, so we're going to see some new champs. There's going to be change no matter what, Eric. That's the beauty of this format. So I am interested in what's going to take place. I am wondering, since this is our first look here in the NACL system at 14-6 and the crit marksman being super strong right now, I'm kind of expecting to see a lot of handshakes. You know, first game, all right, I get to pick Jinx. Next game, I get to pick Aphelios, and you get to pick Jinx.
Yeah, we'll just trade it off, you know. That's part of the way Fearless does work. For those of you might be a little bit confused, once you pick a champion, your side no longer pick that champion. And that does work for you in the draft, because in a sense, you have a champion that's now banned out. You get to use your bans in other places, and that's why some of those handshakes end up being super beneficial. But speaking of banned champions, let's pull up the first round of bans that is coming out for Fearless Draft.
Right, and you can see it again, these champs not going to be available for their respective teams in this second game. The biggest thing, again, I'm watching for is that I'm wondering if we are going to see this trend of handshaking Jinx Aphelios like we did in years past. And aside from that, we could see a different avenue come through for Blue Otter and see what else they can have cooked up to potentially close this out as a 2-0. This is a best of 3, guys, so only one more chance for Winthrop to stay alive in this series, unless they get sent to the lower bracket.
And that brings up the point you were talking about at the start of the show, Beatdown, that Winthrop, when it feels like the pressure is on, this team does not perform to the expectation that's really put onto them. So this is another one of those moments where, you know, falling to Blue Otter, it's definitely going to hurt. Still a best of 3, and it's still a double elimination tournament. Yeah. So Winthrop do have time to kind of shake off some of these nerves and multiple opportunities to look for promotion.
Yeah, but it's going to feel good for whoever wins this series to maintain your second life. And of course, you do have that advantage if you are coming down from the NACL, aka Lit Esports and Mirage Alliance, by starting a step ahead in the bracket. So every win you can get early on, every chance you can to maintain both of your lives is super important here. And for Blue Otter, we're one game away from staying in that upper bracket. That would be a great thing for them to be able to close things down. And I mean, when we think about general consensus too, Blue Otter, not a lot of people are in their court in terms of getting that promotion. So a good win here would be a good start changing people's minds.
I will be honest. I was one of those people that when I saw Blue Otter, I wasn't down on the team, but I wasn't as excited. You know, Rovex did have a lackluster season. Same thing with Music. But we did see the potential in those players, and now it kind of feels like that potential is getting unlocked. Even for players like Lawrence, who I did feel was kind of on the sidelines, now much more prominent in this specific roster, where it wasn't just the laning, right? Yeah, he had a laning matchup that looked very good for him, but it was also also the team fighting where he was able to drop those equalizers to get Blue Otter these good 5v5s.
100%. Now we're here in the pick ban phase. I don't think much is really going to change unless Winthrop on a last second maybe ban away the Jinx and deny that one from Lynx. Otherwise, I think it's just going to be business as usual there. And yeah, it's Tilia.
Dan's coming out. Now we'll see if they do that trade you were talking about. No, first lock-in for Samikin will be Orianna. So, you know, Samikin is a very prominent mage player, so definitely champion he will be comfortable with.
Yeah, a lot of what we've seen from him in the qualifier is the usual control mages. So I think getting that priority, especially when you probably have a good guess on what the bot lane in terms of marksman matchup is going to look like, I think it's fine to prioritize a pick like this. It is still really good. You open up things like the Nocturne combo there potentially for music. And yeah, I think it's just overall really good champ still. Oh my god, they actually are playing Rise.
Rise. That actually got locked in.
Okay.
I thought we were just teasing right here, but Sword willing to take the old bald blue man, that bald-headed aggression into the mid lane.
Yeah, and that one's an interesting one. You do need a little time to get going, but you do a lot of damage. And Rise is one of those champions that kind of fell under the radar in this season with the changes to mage items and how much stronger they got with more AP being in the game. And that just feels great. Seraphs is a really great item. Roa, these are all items that Rise loves. So it makes sense, gives you that big element of scaling for Winthrop.
Actually curious if this is within Denethor's champion pool.
Hey, you know... This is in the back of my mind. Same hat, Eric. I like that. But, you know, I'll reserve judgment. I'm going to guess it's mid lane. But who knows?
Yeah. My best guess is mid lane, but I still want to check, man. I still want to check.
Sure.
At least according to Gamepedia, it's not something he's played on the competitive level, at least of what they track so far. So now looking over to Blue Otter, going into their picks, the 5v5 is getting really, really big right now. I see the Rel, I see the Orianna, those pair so well together. It's basically the same ultimate on two different champions. You're just trying to give them the old shockwave treatment, and now the marksman lock-in, they're not going to go for the handshake that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Instead, they want the Zeri.
So that one's interesting. You do want to have you do get that bit of mobility with the dash, with the ult, giving you move speed and things like that. And I mean, when you're playing into something like Rise, a lot of DPS coming through, you want as much movement as you can possibly get to kite out a champ like this. And Nautilus is going to be looking for you the best that he can. So I think this ends up being pretty fine as long as Blue Otter can make space for him.
Hey, this is going to be a pretty fun one for Wukao. He's locked in the Lee Sin. Now, one thing I do remember from his days when he was Trickster was he was good on a lot of these like fighter-type champions, Vi, J4, and Lee Sin is definitely going to be another one, so able to have a lot of early game presence on this channel.
Yeah, 100%, and you do have a lot of opportunity. If he can get on top of Lynx, with the Nautilus already here, you can just layer that CC and take this champion out of the game. And you do give yourself that early game power compared to the Rise, who needs a little bit of time to get online.
But I do like the pick potential that it's given over to Winthrop so far. Paired with the Nautilus definitely works pretty well. As the next band comes in, now that Winthrop, they've opted to not go for their marksman just yet, does give Blue Otter a chance to shrink that pool a bit more as they take away the Xayah.
Yeah, I want to remove the safe response there. I'm wondering if we're going to see another marksman ban, just to maybe force mobility to dig a little bit deeper. I mean, Aphelios is the thing that comes to mind considering what's already out of the picture. Or we could go for, maybe they try and ban out Denethor. Nope, it's going to be another marksman.
Respect to the Nocturne ban, and the fact that you have Orianna. Noct Ori has been a pretty big combo. Noct works well with Rel on top of that. Sure. So that would have been absolutely disgusting if you were able to get that pairing. The lock-in for Winthrop University, they are going for the top lane lock-in of the Renekton, so this puts the Rise in the mid.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Wow, we're keeping Mobility's pick to the very end there. And to be fair, I kind of like this angle just because you deny a safe blind from Lawrence. So maybe we end up seeing him go the Cassante route. Maybe Udyr comes back, but I mean, people have kind of fallen out of favor with that champion in particular, so it's just going to end up being Cassante.
Cassante lock-in, I really do like Blue Otter's play on the map so far. A lot of mobility, it's a lot of 5v5, and we've already seen from the last game that 5v5 works out brilliantly for them. And if this Poppy actually does get locked in, I'm looking at Steadfast Presence and how many mobility abilities that's going to block. That does appear to be what Blue Otter want to go for as the timer runs out. Poppy, the final pick for Blue Otter.
Yeah, 100%. At this point now, I mean, I think it's a Aphelios, but, you know, we'll see what ends up getting locked in there. I like the Poppy coming through because, yeah, like you said, Eric, the Steadfast Presence, I think is good. You have a lot of threat on low mobility champions. Yeah, Ryze is going to be able to move quick with the Phase Rush, but at the end of the day, no actual movement spells. There is that potential to CC him up. If that Aphelios gets locked in, which it just did, same thing, you are quite vulnerable. And the thing I love, something Yuji was able to do quite a lot in the lower finals against TL, is use that ultimate, the Keeper's Verdict, to win yourself objective fights. You have so much opportunity for some big plays with that ultimate.
But speaking of ultimates, you have to look over at Winthrop, and you have the Realm Warp from Ryze, you have a lot of mobility from Lee Sin. There's more on the table for Winthrop this time to act in the early game and in the mid game and actually have influence and not just get steamrolled like we saw in game number 1.
100%. I think Winthrop's top side is really good with the Renekton Lee Sin. I'm imagining pretty high grub prio for them and them trying to overall leverage what gold they can get from that to allow their mid and bot laner to be able to scale up and get to those later parts of the game. I think Blue Otter are probably the ones on the clock this game because there are a lot of tools to take Lynx out of the picture, and he's the main source of damage on this comp, Eric. Yeah, Sammykin is playing Orianna. You can get up there. Those shockwaves can really hurt, but we're really looking at the Zeri. So there is that pressure on Blue Otter to make sure Lynx can get to that point of the game and make sure that they actually manage to find some leads.
All right, you know what time it is. Let us know who got this one. Spam it in chat right now. Blue for Blue Otter or WU or Winthrop University. I had to say that very slow because WU, well, it's almost like a triple U at that point. But apparently we do have some Throps out, Winthrop fans in the chat currently. 5-point spread, so no early game shenanigans going to come out from both of these squads. Currently match point. Blue Otter win this, they'll proceed against their next opponents. Oh,
that's right again.
Dragonfly and Duck.
Of course, we have the Animal Observer, Samantha Price, on the broadcast today, so you got to give her that shout out. The one who popularized following the animals on Summoner's Rift. Really nice to have her back for now.
Oh, we're going on the tour.
Oh, of course.
We're going on the tour.
This is the special.
What happens when there's no action in the very, very early game? We got no invades. Guess what? We're National Geographic now.
That's right, Eric. You got to do the voice, please.
Taking a look in the bottom lane, we witness a Rovex and Lynx currently coming into their natural habitat to try and collect some substance for their lives.
I love it, man.
I was hoping to actually get like more animals to do this with.
Hey, all in due time. But we got to focus on the game too, so you know, don't hate.
Oh.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, it's a Blue Otter. Winthrop kind of have an eagle. I'm pretty sure it's an eagle, right? So we still got animals.
I'm probably gonna go with eagle, but you know, I'm not American, so I don't care as much about eagles as you guys probably do. So you know, I'm not an expert on the subject.
All right, fair enough. Let's actually get into the game right now as Wokow will be clearing out his top side and will end up towards the bottom side of the map. It's going to be completely flipped on the opposite side of things for Music. It's currently going for a bottom side clear, will end up on the top.
Yeah, this is about expected. Again, for Winthrop, it is about this top side in the early game. You can even see Sword. Oh, hold on.
Now the hook comes in. Chucky's able to find one on the Lynx, and this is going to give Winthrop's bot lane good early advantage. Music doesn't get the heroic charge into the wall. It does get Sword critically low. Now Wokow looking for the finisher. Wants to find a Sonic Wave onto Sammykin. This is high risk right now. He will just flash in and decimate him.
Oh, wow. Mid lane is not where I expected the action to go through right away. Oh my god, guys. Okay. They're making me nervous. Even Chookies has showed up. But it's a really nice play coming through from Wokow to be able to get that first blood. I mean, Sammykin, not really respecting and holding on to his flash a little too long, gets punished for it. So now Wokow's going to have a pretty solid back. I actually like that he instantly went back is going to spend his gold, and then he's going to come back and fight for Scuttle.
So close. So close to the heroic charge actually getting the stun on Sword. And that would have been first blood for Blue Otter right there, but only so close and so far. It's Wokow who's really the hero of this play. Really waits it out, flashes for the timing. That was it. Not even going to try the Sonic Wave.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's better. Especially, you see the way Samikin is going left and right like that, trying to juke it. So he's thinking about the Sonic Wave. He's not thinking about the flash. So it's a good move. Now, Wokow spent some of that gold already. He's back on the map with some combat stats versus Music, who's still clearing. There's an opportunity for him to go for another play mid lane, and I think that's what we're looking at.
This constant pressure that Wokow can keep applying, that is Lee Sin in a nutshell. So he's over at the Raptor camp for the time being, taking a look at the bottom lane. Chucky's trying to hold the wave to buy time for mobility to actually catch this, but that's the disheartening part right there, is they're going to shove him back under the tower, so it's going to be a lot of CS loss for the bottom lane of Winthrop.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's not too big a deal, because you can see mobility before even getting there is only down 3, so he's going to be able to collect some of that. Actually, we can look bot lane. I think Chucky's managed to hold it pretty decently, so mobility is going to get the majority of it, which has got to feel really good as this Aphelios.
Chucky's doing his best to just hold that wave, keep it locked down. Don't seem too much presence from Music so far on this Poppy. Expected for the Lee Sin to kind of have that advantage, move around the map a bit more. Now Music instead will just play for the neutrals. Void Grubs are up, and you have Wokow on the bottom side of the map, so why not?
Yeah, I think this is fine. For the side of Blue Otter, they take this opportunity where Lawrence has a wave stacking towards Denethor, and it's just going to be the first 3 grubs completely uncontested here. And I mean, we look at the bot side as well. There isn't actually an attempt on this Drake yet. So if Music clears and then ends up on this bottom side, maybe there's a chance to respawn, but it's looking like Winthrop. They've started here.
Lawrence trading it out with Denethor at the current time. Lawrence again had a pretty good advantage in the lane matchup in game number 1. It's not going to be the Ignite from last time, so Lawrence will have to fight a bit more to get his solo kills, but still getting the pressure onto Denethor and shoving him into the tower.
And now, Wokow going to very easily pick up that first Drake of the game, and a part of that pressure, and the reason Blue Otters, I think, just kind of let this one go, is the fact that, I mean, one, their bot lane has been getting pushed in pretty consistently. They have that advantage early on. And that first blood went over to this Lee Sin as well. And this feels bad. I think Dragon Soul is something you really want to be playing for as Blue Otter. But if they do, it's going to be hard.
Oh, Lawrence is going for another solo kill. Goes for the all-out. Denethor pops the Dominus, and we're just going to stare awkwardly at each other with ultimates down. Denethor positions forward. Goes for the Ruthless Predator, will not find the stun against Lawrence, who has the Q3 available. There comes the flash from Denethor, and is able to get the outplay. Vengeance for Denethor.
It really nicely done. I will say, Lawrence, he's not the first top laner to do this, but I've noticed that some Cassante players are forgetting that you can't hold on to your 2 stacks of the Antofo strikes and then cast the all-out. They are instantly consumed, and you don't get that insane oppressive CC combo where you basically just take your hands off of the keyboard. So still, well played by Denethor. Cost him his flash, but is getting that advantage topside.
We'll have the most gold. By the way, shout out to Pilscar, who I know is watching right now. I did talk with Denethor before the game, and he wanted to let you know that he always appreciates you watching, even if he can be forgetful in his responses sometimes.
You're just gonna call him out like that? He can't even respond.
That is specifically what he said, okay? So,
okay, yeah. Fair enough.
All right, over the wall, Steadfast Presence times out, so here comes Wokow and follow through with the Resonating Strike. Good chunk of damage coming out as Winthrop proceed to stake claim to Blue Otter's jungle.
Yeah, and it's going to be pretty easy. That level advantage for Wokow is super important there. The Dragon's Rage means that you're just in a better position to fight until Music gets access to his ultimate as well. And I like this pressure too. Using the strength you have mid bot to be able to not just farm your own camps, but take Music's, because those camps are double the value since you're also taking them away from him.
And constantly keep this bot lane guessing. Lynx and Rovex, they got to be afraid to push up at any given time. I mean, already considering that mobility and Chookies are in your face, but now your jungle's dark. Where is this Lee Sin?
100%. This bot side control is so good because it's going to allow Winthrop to be able to very easily stack drakes at this point. So my eyes are on Music. He just ticked over to level 6. Now he has access to the Keeper's Verdict. And I need to see him do a little more this game because, again, later on, things will get harder.
Comes Denethor, now Wukao trying to impact the top side. Lawrence doesn't have many places to go. He's just going to head over to the respawn as Denethor will take him down a second time.
And it's just in time for what's going to be that second spawning of grubs on the top side of the map too, Eric. Hey, it's just, Wokao's been all over the map so far. Getting pressure, stealing camps, finding kills. He's just here. He just needs to show his face. And then Sword's going to have an easy time getting this wave hit.
He was thinking about it. Saw that war go down.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it would have been ambitious. Maybe you ward hop, you force Samick into Flash, but yeah.
I think that's the general idea, trying to burn out flashes. For now, Music will get some lone time with the Void Grubs. This is where we need to see Wokao respond, because if they give this up, that's 6 Grubs right there. It's an opportunity for Blue Otter. It's another resource for Blue Otter to try and fight this back. And now Winthrop University are starting to position forward. Chookies goes for the engage onto Rovex. Wokao over the wall looking for Music. Out comes the Keeper's Verdict, able to get Trickster out of the fight. Excuse me, Wokao, used to his old name, as Denethor will find and go on a killing spree against Music. Now Rovex in a bad way, but Samikin uses the Shockwave to save him.
And it just ends up being a successful play there for the side of Winthrop. They deny that Void Might potential there by getting the 4th and 5th grubs, and Chookies, he's making extra sure that Rovex can't even be in the area. So it's a nice play from Winthrop, increases their gold lead a good bit, and Wokao should have just enough time to recall and start heading towards Winthrop's second Drake.
Look at this pressure in the bottom lane, by the way. Even though there's no kills currently for Mobility, he has grabbed a lot of plates.
Oh, hold on.
So this is where Music wants to reply and stop this in its tracks. Mobility, there's no way to get away from this one.
No
there's a
way.
poppy on you, but Mobility will still kill Lynx in the process? Are you kidding me? And he gets away. What the hell, beatdown? What the hell?
It was the Calibrum Q, and I don't think Music was on any vision. He hex flashed over a wall, it looked like. So I'm not sure if it was 6th or he just recognized that this was a timer as Dragon was coming up soon. Either way, respect. Mobility, a player who I will, for one thing, constantly advocate for himself. Feels like he is underrated as a player. We saw a lot of that in the back half of last year, and it's not from nowhere. He's pretty damn good.
I'm gonna see this one more time. Especially
it's the next Q.
Wow, yeah.
It's the next
yeah. Here it comes.
Okay, yeah, I have no idea how he knew.
That was definitely a blunder right there from Lynx to step up at the wrong time. Respect those abilities. Winthrop University capitalize, and early on in this game, they'll find themselves with a near 3K lead and 2 Drakes to their name.
And this is the comeback that Winthrop fans were hoping for, voting for at the start of this game, Eric. They are looking like they are well on their way to tie this series up. And we talked about what we're expecting from these drafts and how Blue Otter are the ones who are on the clock. The fact that we're 12 minutes in, Winthrop have a 2,500 gold lead. This is a wonderful start for this roster.
So far, so good for them. I mean, everything is really falling into your favor. Wokao has had a tremendous impact in this early game. Mobility winning out on that last play. Denethor getting the 1v1s in the top side. Right now, it feels like a complete flip from what we saw in game number 1. And you can see the plates as well. 2 plates picked up on the top side, 2 plates picked up in the bottom lane, as well as 1 for Sword in the mid lane. Right now, all this early game econ, all this early game momentum is well in the favor of Winthrop.
Yeah, they're just in a great position right now. There isn't too much for them to be doing since there aren't many objectives to really fight for. But I like that Denethor is looking, using this lead, using the pressure that he has to just move around, set up vision on the top side. Maybe see if he can catch Music slipping.
Mobility gonna get dropped. Music will be able to grab that kill. Now running out. Chookies. It's a long way to get home. Has to use his flash to get over the wall. Here comes the Shockwave. It'll land onto 2, but Samikin, this is not safety for you. 1 more pop from Sword, and it's a kill traded back.
And that instant response from Winthrop. But Blue Otter are finally getting something done on the map, which is good. We wanted this from them, but we need to see a lot more, especially if Winthrop were able to trade pretty evenly. I don't think it ends up being that big a deal, especially because Lynx isn't getting the kills.
And here we go. Underneath the tower, Wokao has been called, but Lawrence clears the wave in time, so no threat onto Lawrence currently. Wokao will just hop back into the jungle, and we'll take another look at how this play unfolded.
And you gotta imagine, Chuki's, as soon as he starts walking up, there was actually the angle there from Robex, and it was a nice move there from Blue Otter just to be able to get an easy setup, easy kill. Only downside, didn't go to Lynx. Again, feels kind of bad, but still good for Blue Otter.
Ro brutalized him with the Keeper's Verdict.
Yeah, that honestly, that just never feels good. I don't know how often you've played against Poppy, but yeah.
Yeah, just getting last hitted by it looks incredibly intimidating. At least.
There's the big hammer coming out of the ground, sending you to your grave.
Now the startup coming out from Winthrop. They are putting some positioning over towards the Rift Herald. As Wokao will be able to grab that while the rest of Winthrop, excuse me, doing the uwu speak, will be able to just hold position on the mid lane.
For now, and now that Wokao, oh, hold on.
Hook comes in,
Oh,
Winthrop
goodbye.
see an opportunity to take down Music, and they will cash right on in. Sammykin, it's not the teleport you want to take. Ruthless Predator will not land on Sammykin, so Sammykin gets some distance, and down a member will be Blue Otter.
Oh, maybe another?
You know, they're still tanky boys. Going to be Lawrence. Does absorb that damage, but it comes at the cost of Sammykin, who flashed over the wall to try and help Lawrence.
Huh?
Drifted.
I mean, I guess last second he's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I don't want to be caught on the turret. And I mean, that feels bad. This Herald actually isn't going to charge because you didn't end up hitting a structure. And yeah, it ended up doing nothing. It doesn't change the fact that Winthrop have a pretty big lead right now, but it's just very anticlimactic, you know?
It's the intrusive thoughts, you know? You see the Rift Herald and you're like, I want to be on it. I want to be on it. Wait a second. If I crash there, there's 4 members here. Nope. New turn. Goodbye.
There's a world where he clicked on it by mistake. Who knows? You know, only the players can tell us. And if Winthrop win the series, we get to do an interview with one of them. We can ask them about it.
Maybe it was like just a misread tech.
Maybe.
I've seen it before. I forget who it was. I think it was Saskio who posted a clip where he got a kill, was about to get ulted, and used the Rift Herald channel to dodge the ult. Just slammed it into a wall, hopped out, and finished the kill.
I've seen so many clips like that. It's so funny.
Forbidden tech, man.
Yeah, I mean, Rift Herald, in the right situation, it's pretty broken, guys. Just a thought. And you know what else is broken? Ocean Soul. Yes, you basically. Woo. Yeah, good job, Eric. And Winthrop, I mean, they're in a really good spot right now to be able to get their soul points. You can already see Denethor on this Renekton, almost 2 items deep, is a force unto himself. And with that flank angle, he can get a lot of threat on this other.
It comes in from Chucky.
Oh,
This
nice
is a great
pick.
angle for Winthrop, but the shockwave gets returned. Denethor hops forward. Ruthless Predator finds the stun. Will get a kill right back as Lawrence goes for the retreat. Music gets one onto Chucky's, but the trade cost Blue Otter 3. They only got the support.
Man, it almost looked like something could have gone for Blue Otter with that shockwave, but Winthrop, they come out on top, they get mid-tier 1, they get their soul points, and this gold lead is just out of control now. Winthrop University, looking like they have everything they need to take us to a 3rd game, Eric.
Oh, yeah. This game is very firmly in their favor, and this was disheartening for Blue Otter right here because this was a beautiful shockwave.
Watch Wokao.
Just didn't get it.
What really made the difference here is that Wokao, he was able to get that kick, even though the shockwave stopped the initial follow-up, Wokao still had the resonating strike to close it out. So even though the shockwave was good, there's no Zeri. Remember, he is most of this team's damage, Lynx. And if he's not in the fight, there's no way Blue Otter have a chance.
Right now, it's given a 6K lead over to Winthrop University 18 minutes into this game. It's also Dragon Soul Point. So they're not looking to slow down anytime soon. Lawrence says, hey man, come on. This is a poverty angle for me. Let me at least grab this objective bounty over in the top lane. Has to fight a croc for it. Feels like Florida over here in the bot.
Nah, no pity prizes for Lawrence, says Denethor. In fact, he's going for the kill. His team's on the way.
Yep, here comes Wokow. Lawrence, sorry, no loitering down here in the bottom lane. As Chucky's 3 members of Winthrop University will give him a detour right back to the respawn.
Oh, man. This is tough scenes for Blue Otters this game so far. Things look so good for them in the first game of the series, but Winthrop, they have answered back instantly, and it's looking like this rematch is going very similarly to how it did last time, where it was back and forth. The series did go the distance, and I'm at a point where I find it very hard to believe Winthrop are not going to win this game.
Winthrop are so far ahead, and Denethor's not letting up on the pressure. It is one of the biggest crocs you'll ever see. 5-0-2 at the moment. Now a setup coming out from Blue Otter, but Sword sniffs it out.
Man, nice. The Comet, it just instantly gives you all the information you need, and it's too bad because that's what Blue Otter need to do. It's these plays to sides. It's like the reverse of what happened last game, where Blue Otter now are the ones who just don't have that option of 5v5 anymore. It is plays in the side lane. It is making plays specifically away from Denethor and Wokow. You want to know why, Eric? Let's take a look at the gold right now.
Yeah.
Denethor, and to be fair, mobility is also on the top of the chart. You make plays away from them, especially with a numbers advantage, you do have a good chance of making it work.
Ooh, flash coming out from Chookies. Wants to finish off Music. Keeper's verdict goes off, but the depth charge locks Music. And another kill for Sword. 2-0-3 on this Rise Winthrop on the map.
And everyone, save Chookies, has got an objective bounty to, or rather a bounty to their name. They're going to go ahead and start this Baron. They could be potentially looking for a turn, but it's looking like they're still hitting it. I can't quite see the Baron health. It's getting low.
Ooh, this is going to be way too difficult. You don't have a smite. You're pretty much giving up your life for this Baron. Lawrence goes deep onto mobility, but the Gator will tear one asunder. Still going forward is Lawrence, but he can't quite catch the marksman. He heads for the hills. Sword will give him a parting gift. And now Samikin, the only one that remains. Realm Warp comes out from Sword, took the wrong angle. Baron secured by Winthrop University, as now only one more straggler remains. Lynx will get slain.
And that's a Baron on top of 3 kills. For Winthrop University, they've shot this gold lead up to 11,000. And it's just nicely done all around from this squad. They've had control the entire time this game, and they've done a good job at turning that into more objective wins. And you can see this. Denethor and Wokow, they are strong enough that they can just tank this Baron all day long, and they have the ability to turn as well. And you can see it. Sword, Chookies, they're buying so much time, so much space, and oh my god, the kick from Wokow! You saw the crash down coming from this rel. The Orianna ball was there, but the shockwave goes wide because of some quick thinking from the Lee Sin.
Wokow's been on fire this game so far, man. So many small little plays that have big impacts, and now the Baron secured. I feel like this was the last gasp coming out from Blue Otter. They realize they're behind. They realize this is only going to get worse. Need to do something right now. Unfortunately, don't really get much of a payout, and Winthrop University now sieging up in the top side.
This is where, if we're saying anything about how Blue Otter can come back into this one, it's a very difficult position. Again, it is side lane plays. It's crazy to think that Sword, who is so strong right now, is your best option for a play on the side of Winthrop, and I feel like that is quite telling in itself of the situation they find themselves in. Lawrence! Okay, we're good. We're good.
You have your window open right now, Beat?
I do, yeah, why?
Did you hear that sound?
No.
I hear the throps
what is
are
it?
out, Beat down. I hear it.
What
They're
does a throp even sound like?
Right now. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
Oh, God. You know what? I respect that you committed to it. I almost believed you.
Yeah, but full potential right now for Winthrop University now being realized. As right now, it's just defense against these sieges. Winthrop are okay with it, though, because the side lanes work in their favor.
Yeah, there's always going to be a lane they cannot answer because of how weak they are on the map. They lost an inhib.
Oh, Shockwave comes out. It's on to 2 tanky members. The chain of CC is there, but again, they're just too damn tanky to get killed. And it's going to be Lawrence who gets dropped in the process. Winthrop University now going around the tower. They see Lynx, and that's free food for Sword, who will stab that right into the heart of the fans of Blue Otter.
And they're also going to take us to that third game. We're seeing the teleport come through from Sword. Winthrop, they even the playing field. And we have one more game before we decide our first team in the lower bracket.
Winthrop game ones, what are those? We don't pay attention to those. We look at game 2, we look at game 3, and in game number 2 right now, Winthrop look legendary. 15K lead, 23-minute close. Winthrop will take game number 2.
That's a really fast game, too, now that you mentioned it, Eric, but it's very indicative of how this early game went. They were in control the entire time. They had 3 winning lanes, and Wokal's Lee Sin, who was looking for plays over and over again. It was Blue Otter who needed to be active in the early game, but they had very few chances to make it happen.
You down, it's that bald-headed aggression. You take the lease in, you got to run all over the map, and you got to get in their face, and that's what Wokal did. Shout out to Denethor as well, who got those. I'm sure there was a lot of catharsis in getting those kills back against Lawrence, but ultimately, I mean, Winthrop University, that was a statement game made against Blue Otter. It puts them at match point as well. Next one wins the series and will advance in the promotion tournament. We're going to be right back as we get ready for game number 3. Introducing the new Footlong Sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious Footlong Cookie, Footlong Pretzel, or Footlong Churro.
Everybody in Twitch chat.
Look at the camera.
This is the guy. This is the guy making the run to the LCS Challengers League. Round of applause for Scary Jerry.
Shout out Collegiate. We're coming for everybody. We're gonna win. Also, Shogo's been in the Twitch chat of every match that we've had, so shout out to him. He's our biggest fan.
Nice.
Can't wait to take St. Thomas out in the finals.
Kind of going back to the Lucian item here in the bot side. This sets up really nice for Lucian's ultimate because the support item he'll grab is the damage amp. So you throw down that auto, you know, you get the slow, you pump your ult.
And
Oh boy.
flash doesn't matter if you die, and Wixie gets pierced through the heart. Victory in your first series of the split. It's a little bit of a top kingdom, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he was completely gapped both games. He was just
Oh,
a slaughter. What can I say? But
Hey.
it's really good to see you guys again.
Top laner is going to show up as teleports are channeled. Now jumping in is Jenkins right on the chime. Bleeds him down so damn quickly. Quad is here. And a double kill as the sword slices down from Surdy.
I want to go to you as an individual, as we do see the Grim Reaper running around behind you. Thank you, Shochi, for being the mascot for the team. Still clumped up. They haven't gone down yet. Shochi's just free firing. Jumps in. Over the knockup from Niles. No knockup combo for Spyrax to look for, and he even goes down. Shochi with a double kill, making a triple kill. Reset City versus Supernova's mid laner. Quadra kill to Shochi, and they will ace Maryville.
There is a reason that I said it's going to be a Shochi specialty game. The future of the LCS starts right after the LCS. Welcome to Challengers League.